Hey, Tony, what would happen to you if you were locked up in a Spanish jail and you spoke out against the government?
Well, my first guess, I'd probably get
Suicided. Clintoned. Exactly. Clintoned. And that's what happened to today's subject, John McAfee. Or McAfee. McAfee? McAfee. Okay, we can't decide how to say his name because the spelling doesn't match the pronunciation.
Well, all I know is it depends on if you're talking about the person or the software, because one of them's McAfee, the other one's McAfee.
But they're the same thing.
They are the same thing.
They're the same thing.
seriously.
Hey, we'll get to him.
Hey, I was gonna say that's a whole other podcast right there.
Who is this?
Bill Cosby.
You got the thing.
You put the thing in the thing.
You got the pudding and the chocolate and the vanilla swirls in it.
And the pudding.
We should definitely talk about Bill Cosby because that
we'll
is
get to him.
wild.
Yes. It's craziness right there. But first, we're going to talk about this craziness. Now, you may not know who John McAfee is.
McAfee.
This is going to be the entire
We're
time.
just gonna call him John.
We're just going to start with John.
Mcafee.
But before I get too deep into it, welcome back to Five's a Crowd.
Hello.
I'm here with my 4 beautiful friends.
Well done.
I did it.
You did it. Good.
We got
Congratulations.
Chris, Austin, Tony, and Zach. I'm, of course, Cam.
Hola.
It's going to be a good conspirating day today.
I love our conspiracy podcast, man.
They're the best.
They get deep into some wild stuff, and I just
Fun fact, sometimes I share the conspiracy with such exuberance that I start to convince myself.
you gaslight yourself.
I do, 100%.
It has to be true.
I am right.
I mean, oh my gosh, this all makes sense now that I say it out loud.
JP Morgan.
Like the Titanic.
Somehow, this is tied to him.
Yes.
Olympic.
That's right. Sorry,
Yep,
the Olympics.
easy.
Yes,
Get it
I'm
correct,
Sorry.
Zach.
We're beating a dead horse with that one. Moving
No,
on.
we're not.
You're beating a sunken ship.
I love it. But anyway, so you may not know John McAfee, but you've probably heard of his program and probably been extremely frustrated by his program. But McAfee software is pretty much pre-installed on every
Whoa,
computer.
he created McAfee software?
There's the light bulb.
Wow, okay.
I love that we've been having this conversation
Ding, ding,
before
ding.
recording, and it just clicked just
Yeah.
now.
First contestant.
Just popped in there.
What do we have for him, Johnny?
All right.
McAfee software. Free subscription.
You get a slow A computer and virus protection.
That is what's going on up in my head. I got, a little
got
slow, got a virus going
Dun,
on.
dun, dun, dun. I can't do that Windows login sound and then
Dun. Yeah, so McAfee software, just like Zach, it's running a little slow on most people's computers. But basically, so John McAfee created this company, right? It's still on computers to this day, clogging them up, stopping those arteries from working.
It's not on my computer. I get rid of it as soon as I turn it on.
the easiest
time.
the easiest way to kill a virus is to kill the host.
Wow.
You're not wrong.
And that's how his business ran.
Fire.
So, if you haven't seen the news or anything lately, the reason this has been brought up is because, like I said, John McAfee has recently been suicided in his Spanish prison cell.
He died.
He died.
Now the craziest part about it though is he has a tattoo on his left arm,
He
right?
does. A tattoo that says schwacked with a $sign for the S.
Schwacked.
But doesn't it also say if I
No, he tweeted. Okay?
Oh.
So he tweeted out like months before this happened that he would never commit suicide. He would never kill himself. If he dies, it would be a la Epstein, as in the same way that Epstein did, because we all know Epstein didn't kill himself. But basically that he would have been suicided by the government because he's a very boisterous person and he has spoken out against the government for a long, long time.
So here's my question. Did he know the Clintons?
I mean, he's dead. So
He's not saying.
I mean, I'm not saying it was them, but I mean, it's just weird that the verb Clinton is so closely related to their names.
It's on Webster Dictionary.
It's in there. I'm gonna add it.
Before we press further, this episode 1000% is going to be demonetized.
Already is. If you're this far, it already is.
It might even be shadow banned. I don't know.
What is shadow band?
This is like a weird
I just got a text.
spot for a podcast where literally our video could be like hushed and swept underneath the rug,
You can
not
search
pushed
for
out.
it, not even see it.
And so,
Was that a
if
car
you're
door?
listening and you want to support this channel, want to help us, keep us true to who we are, make sure you hit those join buttons, those support
Please do.
buttons, or share us with your friends and family. Seriously, word of mouth means so much to us.
A lot.
Anything will
We
help.
got something for the whole family.
For $1 a
Maybe.
day, you too can support Tony's children.
My vocal cords are shot. I can't do it today. There we go.
Nailed it. But so getting back onto Mr. McAfee here. He
It
wasn't
sounds like some kind of espresso when you say McAfee.
it's like it's
It's because you're
McDonald's.
thinking of McAfee.
I think it sounds like a
drink.
porn name. John McAfee. Starring.
I mean, based on the picture I see right now, it very well could be.
Yeah. I'd sign up for that subscription.
It's,
No, I
so
wouldn't.
he was
I'm just
not
kidding.
He was not the pillar of responsibility
He was not.
in the world. Definitely, I've actually got
shining
my
light.
I've got my historian here, Chris, to tell us a little bit about John McAfee's life
He died.
and lack thereof.
He went out into the desert.
John
and he died.
McAfee. Let's get into John McAfee here. So John McAfee started up, like he was saying, that antivirus software. And this is when computers were getting big and starting to be household things in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Or
Oh yeah,
late
I remember.
80s
I
and
remember
early
when we
90s.
were kids.
Yeah. And that's when Macintosh and all that came out. And was it? It was Macintosh back then, right?
Well, that's Apple, and so
yeah.
they didn't.
Are
they
they
didn't
still
use
Macintosh?
it. No. Well, I mean Mac, short for Macintosh, but
Okay, it is.
but they didn't use McAfee.
No.
It
Yeah.
was
No,
all PC,
they didn't.
Windows.
So that's what I was going to say. So yeah, so Windows came out, started in a basement or started in a garage, and then he had the brilliant idea because they were starting to say that viruses can threaten your life and ruin your life on your computer. Like that was the big push with it. So he's like, I'm going to come up with something to do that. So he starts up McAfee Software, and it's instant hit booms. And he was really good at selling the whole factor of this is going to ruin your life and, just propagandize viruses. So he made a quick, cool million very fast and ended up backing out of the company and retiring after his first 100 million.
No way.
Smart dude.
Just out.
Gone. So then he moves down to, it starts with the B.
Belize.
Belize. Belize.
It's unbelievable.
What country's that in?
I can't believe it.
South America, right?
Well, Belize is the
Belize
country.
is the country.
Yeah, it's in South America.
Okay.
No, well,
I thought your
kinda.
question was serious.
Isn't
Like,
it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's in
You
Central
guys.
America.
Central.
Central America.
Yeah. Okay.
Central, South, it's all the same.
I went on a
It's
cruise there
not.
one time.
Same.
And meets. Well, he's retired. They're living the big life, and then he ends up meeting a chemist who was studying how plants can create antivirus properties for
Computers?
for pharmaceuticals. And I forgot her name. Look it up.
Is it the girl from Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was a botanist.
Did the plants explode?
So she's a botanist too. So, but he ends up investing in and starting a company down there with her, but just goes off the rails in Belize. He starts hiring all the local policemen to be his personal bodyguards and his personal enforcers to support his compound that he has. He has a
Crazy.
compound, and then he starts networking out and getting the local gangsters out there.
Sounds like it's
To be part of it
Bro's
as well.
turning into a freaking cartel all of a sudden.
no kidding. It's like the guy from Fast Five.
That's what I was actually just thinking. In Rio.
Oh, and the biologist's name was Allison
Biologist.
Adonizio.
Yeah.
Adonizio.
Yeah. It was going to come to me.
It was floating around in there.
No. But so actually, let's backtrack a little bit too. So when in his company, he was known for being just a wild guy. He always did drugs. He was on a lot of psychedelics. DMT was one of the big ones where he took a lot of DMT, but he was just a natural genius. So he always through college and everything else, he was always on drugs, but was able to pass with flying colors, starting the company up, always on drugs with the company. And they would have sex parties at the McAfee building, and they've had a game about it.
What?
Yeah, crazy stuff.
A
Ironic.
game?
That game.
What kind of game?
So many points. If you did it in certain areas of the office, you'd get so many points. So they said there's
Sounds
one
like a game I could play.
For 20 seconds.
Give me an hour and I'll make it another 15. Seconds.
What?
You got to prep work. You got to prep it back up, right?
Anywho,
Sorry.
I totally just got that. I got it. I think I'm there with
so
it.
it is.
Bah. So, known to be wild, sells the company after the $100 million, moves to Belize, starts up his own little, I guess it would be his own little cult, right?
Oh, wait. So those parties happened here in the States?
In the States.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. There's one
Austin's little
worker
mad he
said
wasn't invited.
everybody would come in with Windex and towels to clean up after they'd have these parties.
Windex?
I don't know. It cleans everything.
I mean, I would use kerosene or something.
Matches.
He probably called Hugh Hefner for
So-
that tip.
Seriously.
Yeah. So he was
He's
a
like,
wi-
yeah. You should use Windex.
Kind of ironic that he created an antivirus software. Now he's just spreading virus all
He
over.
learned from the dad off of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Windex does it all.
So that kind of gives you the type of personality this guy had. He's just outlandish. Goes to Belize, meets with the botanist or chemist or
Biologist.
Yeah.
biologist, all of it.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the word either. Sorry.
Ologist.
All
All of it. Just
starts his little community. The government starts giving him hassle, and there's one. What would you call him? He's a gangster down there. Is something Tech 9 or something? It was his name.
Nine?
No, not the rapper. But he became like his enforcer and would enforce things down there.
What kind of things?
All of the things. What comes
Sounds
So we just have this big beastly dude.
So he would go down and go through the jungle to these little communities. What do you like?
Villages?
And pick out women and bring them back to his compound.
Really?
And pay them to have sex with him. And
Not
there's one
surprising.
story, and I don't know if are we. Should I tell? Yeah, I'll tell the story.
We're already
I mean-
demonetized. You might as well.
I mean, this guy's wild.
He made a sheet hammock with a slit through the bottom of it. And he would lay under this hammock and pay a girl to defecate in his mouth.
Oh my gosh. Dude's a freak.
Dude's wild.
Didn't see that
Dude's a
coming.
freak. That
Dude's
was not
wild.
at
I
all.
was expecting like him
Where-
to just slip something through there and yeah.
So
Like
That
kind of
would
an
be the
unofficial
logical
sex
thing.
swing
He
type thing.
became a sex addict down.
Wow.
Just a wild
My
guy.
goodness. That one gave me the nasty chills.
Yeah.
Drink Windex.
Seriously, I feel like I need to. Don't do that. Don't
Don't
actually.
Don't do that. So he ends up getting a neighbor down there. This neighbor hates him
I wonder why.
because of his dogs. So he has
Oh.
dogs.
Also a valid reason.
Has dogs, but the dogs keep getting out, and the neighbor says these dogs are wild.
Out of all the things you could hate your neighbor for.
The dogs. I guess he was pretty quiet
it
inside of the
happens. My neighbor
compound.
hates me because of my dog too. Okay.
Dude, my neighbor's dogs are freaking annoying.
But I don't think any of the stuff is going on at your house that happened at his house.
Well, touche.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
You don't know me and Kara.
I mean, I saw him take a case of Windex in the house the other
Me and
day.
Kara got a wild side.
You got
know?
a poop hammock?
But this is what, around 2008
Yeah.
that he lived in Belize.
Yeah.
So right after like the market crash, he
Yeah.
basically, because of the market crash, he was forced to sell off a lot of his assets. That's
Yeah.
why he ended up going to Belize. He also set up a cigar making business
Yeah.
and a coffee distribution company.
Didn't go well.
And and this is again going back to Allison
Yeah.
Adamnizio. This is where he met her, and they created the pharmaceutical company
Yep.
called Quorum. Who comes up with these stupid names? Quorumex?
Sounds good.
Quorumex.
Windex.
Hey, that's probably where you got the idea.
I guarantee it.
What's that first word sound like? Quorum? Windex?
Corndex.
Never mind. I'm not going
I
to
got
say
it.
Thanks.
Press on.
It's Cormex.
This guy is such a crazy person.
He is.
So as you said, it says here his life was becoming increasingly erratic, as noted by the poop hammock. he would
Take
also
in case the poop hammock.
he would frequent the nearby town and basically in the bar and get drunk constantly, hang out with local drunks, hang out with prostitutes. He
Hang
ditched
hammocks in the corner.
hang out in hammocks. He ditched his girlfriend of 12 years and started hanging out with a 16-year-old.
Oh.
So all this is really just not painting a great picture.
Not
for
at
the
all.
dude.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all the picture I was expecting.
Right?
For where this story was going.
It's
Is
bad.
this what they want us to feel about?
Yeah, there you go.
That's how they make you sound crazy.
Exactly.
Who thinks of a poop hammock?
Well, apparently this 16-year-old almost killed him in his sleep.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
But then his life was just ever increasing amounts of guns, girls, and drugs.
Hang on. Was this all in Belize still?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
'cause-
developed
Sorry, go ahead.
he developed some paranoia, if you'd imagine.
Weird.
Feces will do that. Just kidding.
Some strong.
You're probably right, honestly.
strong.
That's got to have some sort of toxic effect on your brain.
Right.
Like, there's no way that is good for you in any way, shape, or form. Actually, fun fact.
Is it fun?
Not really. Sorry.
I love fun
Now that
facts.
you bring that up. In North Korea,
Yeah.
because it's such an impoverished country, they don't have fertilizer to grow their crops. They actually use their own feces to grow crops. People even sell their own poop
Wow.
and to put on the crops and to grow them. This, of course, is not good. So they're eating tainted food constantly.
From the taint.
Literally tainted food.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was well done.
Thank you.
Well
Sphincter
placed.
food.
But yes, so not good. Who knows? Could play into his ever decreasing, mental
Psyche.
stability. Carry on.
Dude.
My goodness.
This
Okay.
dude's insane.
This is a wild ride. This is
right?
not what I was
This
expecting.
man. Yeah.
Seriously sounds like
Oh,
something out of
you
a
wanna
movie.
You want to hear something funny? He wrote a book in 1989. Listen to the title. Computer viruses, worms, data diddlers, killer programs, and other threats to your system.
Really?
Yeah. Sounds like it's got some weird undertones.
That's how.
The way they say he sold McAfee though is that he just was very good at making people fear everything. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Fear tactics?
fair tactics.
Well, because there was that other antivirus software that came out called Michelangelo. And he basically, and this was in 1992, he warned that it was capable of infecting millions of computers across the world, and sales of his software soared because of that. And that's when it went public also. So he basically made this other company look to be like the bad guy and made him look very terrible. I mean, I don't know anything about Michelangelo, so who knows? Maybe it was actually like this, but he basically made everyone so afraid of it that his sales for his software skyrocketed.
Now, I also saw a thing where maybe this is just hearsay, but Bill Gates would then create viruses to then offer the solution to the problem.
Like they
Would
were
this also be the case for
jump
McAfee?
like that.
I mean, I'm not saying that Bill Gates is behind some shady shills, but I'm just saying you got that much money and you trying to push this vaccine on us. You doing something. You doing something shady behind the scenes.
Bill Gates.
Bro.
So that man is the number one producer of food, like of farms. Like he owns the most farmland in the United States. Did you know that? He sells exclusively to McDonald's for potatoes. Exclusively.
Wow.
What's he putting in those
He also
potatoes?
talks about. You ever see what is it like the third Davinci Code? Which one is that?
I haven't.
Davinci Code 3.
I wish it was that simple.
Isn't it something
Our
like?
brain was right there.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
You've
fire
seen
or
it,
something,
right?
but
What's the premise of it?
Huge virus that's going to wipe out the world, basically.
But where did that virus come from?
I can't remember. It's been a long
McDonald's.
time.
It was planned. Remember?
Yes.
There was that one guy who was preaching how the world is overpopulated.
Yeah.
And that we need to get rid of people and there needs to be a culling and they were going to use this virus to do it. Bill Gates has also talked about
oh dear.
overpopulation of the world.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, he's not. But, he's also
definitely
the
not
only
right.
one in a position to do something about it. I mean, I'm not saying.
Well,
I'm just saying.
if there's an overpopulation issue, then why did China just increase their children?
Because they're not overpopulated.
Because they don't give a
Flying.
Right? They just allowed now you can have 2 kids.
Yeah. They're prepping up for the war.
building soldiers. That's a podcast for another time. Because
Okay.
there's a lot.
Back on McAfee.
Austin's
Oh,
house
man.
is about to get nuked.
I'm gonna get a text from the FBI. Watch yourself.
Just know,
Just kidding.
if you're listening to this, we did not Epstein ourselves.
We will not, nor we will never commit suicide. Know that.
Ever.
I mean, I might. Who just let one go? Dear God, that's
Oh my goodness.
Tony.
I might kill myself out of that.
Tony!
Jesus Christ, that's worse than my dog, dude.
That's a cat that ate the canary face right there.
Cast out.
And we're back.
Now a message from our sponsors.
Gas X.
You about to record a podcast? Take some Gas X.
Did you have to let it linger?
I can't take a drink yet.
Well, let's continue with the decline of John McAfee. Why is it so hard?
McAfee.
It's because you see the C,
I see the
and
word.
you want to say
and I'm-
Mick,
Yes.
but it's Mac.
I hate it.
McAfee.
What if he's
McAfee.
been saying his name wrong his whole life?
I think so because why is one MC Mick and the other MC Mac? There's no rhyme or
Preference.
reason to
Welcome to the English language.
it. I
yeah.
think it's those Irish.
I was about to say, isn't that an
Scottish.
Irish name when it has a
They speak English.
Well, yeah,
Kind of.
Speak Gaelic.
Dialect.
right?
Well, back in the day.
Back in the day, and that's where these words come from. But
Boorish.
anywho,
Boorish.
so McAfee's living his crazy life.
Yeah.
He ends up getting arrested in Belize because he's a person
Was
of
it
interest.
Belize or Guatemala?
Both.
Oh, okay.
He first gets arrested in Belize, charged with manufacturing meth and and the possession of an unlicensed weapon. Eventually, those charges are dropped.
10
But 10 unlicensed weapons.
and 300 bullets.
I mean, get it. That's it.
yeah, that was it.
Weird. What was he gonna do? Throw the guns? I guess.
30 bullets a gun.
But got released.
Yep. All charges were dropped. Later that year, they were looking for him again in connection with the death of his neighbor.
Dun, dun,
The one that complained about the dogs?
Yes.
So here's what happened with that. So the dogs, he was complaining about the dogs because they're getting out wild dogs. He wasn't keeping them in the compound. Well, his dogs end up getting poisoned and killed.
Oh.
Mysteriously.
strange.
So then within, I don't know how long it was, but within amount of time, his neighbors found dead in his own blood, in a pool of his own blood. And it comes down to that he was execution styled.
So did they then find McAfee with only 299 bullets? I mean, simple
deduction.
Simple deduction.
Well, they confiscated that.
Oh, they didn't give him back?
Then he didn't have any guns to do the deed with.
Exactly. See? Boom.
But
Simple deduction.
He hired the entire country. Like I feel like he
had
could have
a-
easily
had a-
hired
He had an
somebody.
enforcement force,
Yeah.
You know, how do we know that Greg didn't just have a lot of enemies?
We don't.
Who's Greg?
That's the neighbor
Oh, okay.
died.
But they end up putting a search warrant out, trying to say, to arrest him, and he ends up slipping away to Guatemala.
Yep, peaced out, went to Guatemala. He the whole time obviously denying any involvement in Greg's death.
But that looks highly suspicious.
He reasoned that he was fleeing from the police because he believed they wanted to kill him, and suggested that whoever killed Greg Fall, may have been targeting him instead. Oh. So he's claiming that Greg was mistaken for him and was murdered. Execution style.
Executions.
Who kills execution style?
Mercenaries.
Exactly. Who do
Clinton.
mercenaries work for?
Government.
Clinton's.
Exactly. Who owns the government? Clinton.
We need to be real careful about the conspiracies we spread because people will take this as gospel.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's all
So
true.
if
I'm
he
just
was-
saying it.
If he was killed execution style, how would that be a mistake? Because you'd have to be close.
It comes more to the story here.
Okay.
So he ends up getting caught in Guatemala, put in prison or jail in Guatemala. He fakes a heart attack so he has enough time for his lawyer to get a case to get him exported to Florida and gets away.
expedited.
Exported. He wouldn't be exported.
He's
I mean,
not
he
a
could.
commodity.
He could.
He was sent
it's
in a
damaged
crate.
goods. Let's be honest.
So he goes to Florida where he lived his life with all those accusations.
So how long was he in Florida?
Yeah. Till the Clintons found him.
Well, because no, he died in a Spanish prison,
Yeah.
so he wasn't even in the States.
No, that's where I don't know what happened.
So while he was in custody, he avoided extradition to Belize and was instead deported back to the U.S.
Yeah. That's where I got to the story.
Basically, here's another funny piece though. He actually, because he had distanced himself from the software, the McAfee software, he actually spoke. He was very vocal about his disdain for the antivirus software that he had invented and still operated under his name. He posted a video in 2013 called "How to Uninstall McAfee Antivirus."
Oh yeah. It went viral.
And it showed him frolicking with scantily clad women, brandishing guns and snorting bath salts.
Whoa.
In the advertisement to uninstall the thing?
Yeah, apparently that was the video.
What a character.
So basically, he
He's a role
hated.
model.
I
my
remember reading
gosh.
one thing. He had said that his software, obviously turned into something different. But he's like, my software became the virus that it was meant to stop, essentially,
Oh, jeez.
He
because it slows computers and has all these problems.
he went on some escapades in the United States. He ran for president
When
and actually got on the ballot.
was he with the boot guy?
I don't know.
Dude, that guy runs every time, and it's funny.
The boot guy? Who's the boot
dude,
guy?
He wears a boot on his head.
What?
You've never heard of this guy?
Kind of sounds like a Tiger King thing to me.
Almost.
Remember
He,
when Tiger King almost made it?
Yes. Well,
Wait, he ran for president?
Well, he went to run. He tried to get on the ballot for president. They didn't do it. And then he tried to get local government, and he got beat. This guy, his name is Vermin Supreme. You guys never heard of Vermin Supreme?
No.
Yeah.
This dude legit wears a boot on his head all the time, and has run for president multiple times.
Oh my goodness.
You might want to change your style for people to take you seriously.
I feel like that's
mean,
like
I might vote for him.
what's his name? Dumbledore's like
Sad little younger
his
brother.
yeah, their
His magic
embarrassment.
hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like the guy.
Oh,
Who's the guy
Vermin
in Anastasia? The guy who
Rasputin?
Rasputin.
That'd be a fun story, actually.
Yeah.
He's wild too.
I thought he was the guy.
So
in,
at what point
The
in
Hobbit.
McAfee's story does he start brandishing out against the government? And what is he claiming? And where does this turn up to the 12th degree here?
Well, so he decided to run for president.
He ran for the Libertarian Party and was just saying that everything should be legal. The government should. He was just saying the government has too much control.
Yeah,
Is pretty
intensely against paying taxes, all that stuff against
Also,
the
did you
government
know
control.
when he met his wife that she was a hooker?
Wait, McAfee's?
much. She liked to
Yes.
fish, huh?
Yes.
Oh,
No, when he came back to Florida, he met his wife. She was a hooker. And that's
Well, I
how-
mean,
Not surprising.
it's not surprising
No.
at all.
I'm
to be
just saying.
honest.
I didn't know that little tidbit.
yes, and that's
tiddly
who
bits.
he was married to until his untimely death.
Very untimely.
Yes.
Yeah, he.
It's like Pretty Woman.
So basically, McAfee he got very into crypto
Yeah.
because he hates the IRS. He hates the idea of taxation, and in general. And so in general, he was really excited about crypto, knowing that it wasn't controlled by the government.
What's-
It's not
what's
taxed.
crypto?
Cryptocurrency like Bitcoin,
Oh, okay.
Dogecoin, Ethereum, all that good jazz. It's not run by the government.
Yeah,
so
it's
the government
decentralized.
can't. Yeah, they can't tax it. Although they really want to.
They're trying to.
They're trying real hard. So anyway, so he gets like way into crypto, especially Bitcoin and stuff like that. He sends out a tweet that says, "There you have it. We win in any case. If Bitcoin is not 1 million by December 31st, 2020, I will eat my
Schlong.
downstairs
Oh, right.
compatriot."
Yeah.
I remember seeing this. I think I saw it on Reddit, and they're like, "How do we?"
This was like 2017.
Yeah, and I remember. I swear I just saw. Because it was just this last December, right? You said 2020?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And he
because
said
I
he would do it
remember
on
seeing
national television.
I remember seeing something on Reddit about how do we get him to do his bidding.
Yep.
That's crazy. I didn't know that was that guy.
Yep.
Yep.
That's him. There's Mr. Crazy himself.
Okay.
So let's see. So with Bitcoin clearly unlikely to ever get to $1 million, it's not surprising that he recently distanced himself from those claims. So he backed
changed.
out on the deal.
Yeah.
Backed out on his deal.
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, let's be honest.
Well, I mean,
That's
But so with that, when he went back to Mexico, when did he go back to Mexico?
well,
He was running again because he thought the government was after him. I know that.
I mean, I think they were.
well. I mean, so far all I hear is crazy. So
Far
yeah.
crazy.
I wanna
But he's
hear-
spoken out against the government multiple times. I think one of the biggest things is he ends up running because the IRS is after him.
Oh, that's right.
For his
yeah.
taxes.
Yep.
Yep.
Because he went like,
Taxes.
Yeah.
went
So
like 5
he
years
was.
without paying taxes.
He hated taxes, obviously, but he was arrested in Spain while trying to board a flight from Barcelona to Turkey. He was being held in jail there, pending extradition to the U.S. on charges of tax evasion, concealing assets, and failing to file tax returns. He will also face those charges being brought by the SEC. So basically, he's just he's trying to screw the government out of money. I mean, who doesn't
Like
want
they
to?
screw us out of money.
Well, he had a lot of civil lawsuits against him too, because the family of his neighbor who got murdered, he was never actually charged with it, but they kept taking him to court for like $25 million, and he would not show up in court. So,
Jeez.
if you don't show up to plead your side, they usually go in favor of the plaintiff.
of course. Yeah.
So, but he said he didn't have time to waste on frivolous.
So was that ever
Claims.
solved? The neighbor?
No,
thing?
it wasn't.
No. And I mean, he avoided being extradited back to Belize, and that's when he ended up back into the U.S. But so in October of 2020, so October of last year, he was talking about being jailed in Spain. So being there, he says, "I am." This is a tweet that he sent out. He said, "I am content in here. I have friends. The food is good. All is well. Know that if I hang myself, a la Epstein, it will be no fault of mine." So he already thinks the government's going to come and like take him out off him.
See, I'm still like, I get that this guy is causing quite a ruckus, but why?
What's the driving factor
Yeah.
here?
Why would the government be after him?
Again, I mean, right now it's only the tax evasion.
Yeah. But I
Like
mean,
that's the current thing he was running for.
But he was very outspoken against the government too.
I think another one was one of I think the woman he was married to or with
The hooker.
the hooker. I was trying to be more polite.
You
Okay,
can just call him wife.
She was a hooker.
I believe she had made a statement saying that he was very outspoken and spoke against the government a lot, and it got him into trouble a lot. And it's mostly because a lot of people would try to like pressure him or blackmail him or do these things, and he wouldn't be pressured or blackmailed. He would call him out like publicly and stuff like that. So he probably ended up making a lot of enemies,
Yeah.
especially in the political sphere while he was running for president.
Was there anything directly tied to the Clintons though? Like, was there anything where they actually butted heads?
Clintons.
I didn't see anything like that.
I mean, I can't say that there's any evidence of that.
Well, of course
but I
there's
wouldn't
not,
be
because
surprised.
it's been all deleted out of history. You know,
Probably out of those emails.
Yeah.
Weird, those emails just disappeared. Weird.
So here's the thing too you can take from this. Either he was really this crazy guy that this whole story is completely true, or he really did know some things and they had to paint him as a crazy guy.
That's where
That's it.
all this gets
Option B.
real difficult.
Uh-huh.
Because think about it. I always go back to the phrase: "The history is written by those who win."
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean, he's not around to.
so maybe he didn't have a poop swing.
But they had documentaries.
I mean, he
and
probably did.
Oh, okay.
there was a guy who was in the compound who said that he transferred money to this Tech 9 character and transferred $5,000 to him a couple nights before and the murder happened. So they think he paid him off to murder for McAfee. But at the same time, he came back and rebutted his statement saying that he didn't, and then ended up rebuttaling saying that they paid him more money. McAfee paid him more money to say it was a lie. So who knows? This tangled web of lies.
But he was tweeting all kinds of random stuff while he was chilling in jail, which is weird. Do they have chargers in there? Like,
I don't know. I've never been to
all the
jail.
time. But was it? He was writing stuff like "prison's no worse than living in your mother-in-law's house
I mean,
with an
the
overbearing
dude
spouse
had
and 10
a
children."
crazy amount of money.
Yeah,
So, you know,
But I mean,
things are light when you got money.
it's true.
$100 million is a lot of money, but comparatively to what a lot of people have nowadays, he got
But-
a lot done with $100 million.
But also going to Central America, you like quadruple your money. So I mean, and living there, and even in Spain, it would still be worth a lot. But he was there for about 3 months. He tweeted about not snitching. He said, "Prison rule number 3: never snitch to the guards for any offense."
He's a wild guy.
I have been moved
snitches
again
get
to
stitches.
I have been moved again to an even more undesirable cell block, and my new friend said, "If someone steals from you, stab them when they're not looking. Not my style."
I'll stab you in the neck with a knife.
While you're staring at me. Oh my gosh. But anyways, so again, he even got, like we said, he tweeted out that he would never kill himself, and that if he did, it was not his doing. And then he also got that tattoo that says schwacked.
Schwacked.
He's like, I gotta find that tweet. Basically, he said he got that tattoo for that reason.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I'll find the tweet right here.
He got it for what reason?
That if he was ever found dead, to check his tattoo.
Oh.
Schwacked.
Yeah, that he was schwacked.
So here's the thing, though. The guy was off his rocker.
Just a little bit.
So maybe he said that in order to make people think that he didn't.
I mean, it definitely sounds more down that alley than the opposite. I don't know, man. Like, if you're going to commit suicide,
Tell him you're not going to commit suicide.
then all of a sudden you're like, what happened to him?
I could see that.
What do
I
you
would
think?
never commit suicide, and then all of a sudden you commit suicide, leaving everybody going, "Oh, what happened?"
So was he actually found hung in his cell, just like Epstein?
I don't know if anyone said, like, he was found hung.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone, like, said it was just like Epstein. Epstein was hung from, like,
A doorknob.
supposedly. No, it was the railing of the bed.
Okay.
So he got a sheet and he tied it to the railing of the bed and to his neck, and on his knees he had to basically push himself forward to where the pressure on his neck was strangling him.
So when he
But-
fainted, he would just come back to life.
Well, if
But
you kept
also-
the pressure, because you'd have that dead
But
weight
he
pressure.
had to press.
The other crazy thing is
Yeah.
that
Until your knees
he
come
had
out.
like a broken collarbone and some other stuff that was not consistent with the way he was hanging himself.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe that's another podcast, because I honestly,
yeah.
like, I watched the Epstein docuseries on
That's
Netflix.
Oh, did you?
disgusting.
I
watched
thought
it.
I went in like thinking it was gonna be about him, his life, and how it led up to him hanging himself in his cell, and it was not that at all.
It was about him.
It was about him and what he did, and I had no idea about any of that. But I feel like that is definitely something I'd like to delve into. It's crazy.
It is quite crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, so here's where he got the tattoo. So he said in a tweet, getting subtle messages from U.S. officials saying, in effect, "We're coming for you, McAfee. We're going to kill yourself."
We're going to kill yourself.
Then he said, "I got a tattoo today just in case. If I suicide myself, I didn't. I was whacked. Check my right arm." So technically it's like a $sign and then it says whacked, but I like reading it as schwacked.
We are going to kill yourself.
But I mean,
the text really said we're going to kill yourself.
yeah, it does.
We're going to
We
kill.
are going to kill yourself.
What?
Oh my
pretty
god!
That wouldn't be from the government, right?
I mean, if you wanted
Quote.
somebody
saying
to sound
essentially-
crazy, you would want to say things that are just ridiculous.
That's true. Oh man, I don't know.
See,
That's
and
crazy.
This is where we end up with all conspiracies, and this is why they exist, because there's no definitive proof saying yes, he was suicided and this happened, but there's no definitive proof saying no, he wasn't.
Well, then there's all those allegations too, like that he killed that guy and this and that. And there was never any evidence, but they always have a good excuse of why he didn't get charged with it.
And here, this is where
what
I
do you
honestly,
think?
I always go back, like, look at movies. Okay, I believe that a lot of movies are put out for sure for a lot of fun, but I think there's a lot of themes in them that are very plausible that could happen in real life.
Like they put it out to make the real thing seem fictional because it's like, see, it's in the movies, so how could that actually happen? Like,
Right?
well, and I also think a lot of people think real small.
yeah.
Like, you don't understand the possibility of a giant infrastructure with unlimited funding
Exactly.
and like undercover agents and
This massive, powerful, super rich conglomerate of people
you
that move things behind the scenes.
can't comprehend the level of power that has.
And
You
some
can't, because you're just an ant
Yeah.
in a giant hill.
Well, some of them are experts on deception and changing populace opinions.
Yeah,
That's how they.
Well, look at our very own CIA and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like there are tactics we can use to destroy countries
Yeah.
and governments in other countries, and they can be tactics that you would never even see that anyone behind the scenes did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it could be subtle things like this, like, oh, pinning murders on somebody so that they get arrested and incarcerated.
And they got time.
Like,
It's
yeah,
a slow
you
game.
don't need to. Because here's the thing. If Mr. McAfee here, McAfee, if he puts out an idea, he goes out and he tells the truth. Or actually, better yet, let's say Snowden. So Edward Snowden goes out, whistle
Let's
blows.
do Snowden next.
That's
Definitely.
that'd be a good one.
I want to learn more about him. But basically, Edward Snowden goes out and makes all these accusations, blows the whistle on the NSA. If the NSA went and murdered him, what then happens to all the information he shared?
It becomes relevant.
Everyone believes it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was real. Everything he said was true because they reacted the way they did. If he comes out and says this, but now the NSA behind the scenes gets him stuck in some sort of embezzling scheme. It, throws some bad light on him in some sort of murder. He's wanted for murder in Russia.
He killed his neighbor after killing his dogs.
Yeah.
The more you paint
He's
the
got
source,
a poop hammock.
he's got a poop hammock. The more you make the source look crazy,
Make an ink blot on my face.
the less people will believe the things they said, and the better.
Yeah. It's,
know,
what
the
is that
overarching
called? Defamation of character? That's what they do.
Defamation of character. Exactly. It's all these tactics are so big, and again, right in front of us in all these movies. But this crap can happen. There's so much money running things that we don't know about.
He did get whacked tattooed on his arm, though. I mean,
Did.
Technically,
So you don't wanna
schwacked.
get Schwacked.
he got
Swacked.
Swag.
swacked.
There's no age.
I know, but there is a H after the W.
Schwacked. Schwacked.
Swacked.
So yes.
Well, that's how you spell whacked, right?
Whacked. Yeah.
Whacked.
Well, there's no E between the K and the D.
Yeah, who knows? You go and get suicided.
Whacking
You should
vomit.
have
gonna
put this
suicide
on. You
yourself.
should have put that on.
Yeah.
who
All right,
knows?
that's crazy, man. I don't know.
But again, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay? You search within yourself and see what you believe. Because he could be a crazy person who ended up trolling everybody before he killed himself. Or he was telling the truth and he got suicided.
We're not saying.
We're not saying.
We're just saying.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. But again, if you don't hear from us, it's because the government came to kill ourselves.
And I will have the tattoo schwacked on my left arm.
Right arm.
With the H in front of the W.
Okay, thanks.
I never have
Schwacked.
had a hammock in my life.
Never.
Ever.
Not
Hey,
that kind.
I've got one out back, but it doesn't have a slit in it.
I got a banana hammock.
For your bananas?
Yes.
A very small collection of bananas.
It's just a wee little banana.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you guys made it this far through this crazy rendition of
This
John
was-
McAfee's life.
Guy's a psycho.
Dude, he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
Or do they just
But he
want you
didn't
to
kill
think
himself.
Yeah.
that? Neither did Epstein.
Something definitely stinks.
And it ain't the poop hammock. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with Fives a Crowd. We love you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Give us a share because this isn't going to make us any money whatsoever.
Not that this podcast makes us much anyway.
Oh boy. Thanks
Have a
for
good
being
night.
here, guys.
Thanks so much.
Ciao.
See you later.
Thanks for being part of this crew.